Good morning, everyone. Hope you are doing well. You just wake up that little bit happier when West Ham have won the day before, and that's certainly the case for myself today. Now, usually I like to go live on a Sunday morning, see what everybody's saying about the game yesterday, but I stayed over in London last night, so we'll be doing the live show tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. So Monday at 7 p.m. UK time, I'll be live on this channel, seeing what you lot are saying about yesterday's game and victory, convincing victory over Ipswich Town. Now, when you sign 10 players in the summer like we did, I think there's a little bit of pressure on the director of football, the manager. You need to make some of them work. They're not all going to work. All 10 signings will not work. There will be some failures in there. But if you can get 6 to do well at West Ham, I think that's a good transfer window. But there's more pressure on the more expensive signings, naturally. If Rodriguez didn't work out, it's not the end of the world. If Solar didn't work out, not the end of the world. If Kante didn't work out, not the end of the world. But those that cost big bucks. So Max Kilman, there's pressure on him to succeed because Lopetegui wanted him so much and we paid £40 million for him. Pressure on Max Kilman. There's pressure on Füllkrug at the minute because 25 million for a 31-year-old, it's expensive. We didn't get John Duran. We've tried to replace Michail Antonio with Sebastian Haller. Didn't work out. Sold Haller, cut our losses. We waited. We took our time. We went and got Gianluca Scamacca. That didn't work out. We sold him, cut our losses. We waited a year. We waited a whole season. Then we went and got Füllkrug. Now, you could add in Danny Ings, but I'm going to leave that one out because of the circumstances. I think we bought him because we're in a relegation battle, and if we went down, we had a really good striker for the championship. But Füllkrug's come in now. We've tried to replace Michail Antonio with 3 expensive strikers. This is the third one. So I think there's pressure on him to succeed. And obviously, we don't know. He's been injured, so we'll have to wait and see in that regard. I think there's pressure on the transfer of Guilherme. I think there's maybe pressure on Max Kilman, the player. But I think there's pressure on Guilherme, the transfer, because that was Tim Steidten's one, wasn't it? At the start of the window, he went over to Brazil, spent ages in Brazil. Not for the first time. He was over there last summer as well. Guilherme is the product of his scouting, and I think there's a bit of pressure on that transfer to succeed for Tim Steidten. But then there's Todibo, because we basically committed 40 million to this guy. Once you include his loan fee for the season, next summer it's an obligation to buy if he plays 5 games, starts 5 games, whichever one it is, it's going to be activated. There's this, the club know they're paying 40 million for Todibo next summer. So there's pressure on him to perform. Could you imagine he had a bad season? Could you imagine Todibo this season didn't look very good? And next summer, it was like, would you pay? No, we would not pay 40 million for him. Well, tough, you're going to have to. Because of the loan. Because of the contract situation, you've got to get him in. And I'd imagine he's a very well-paid player at West Ham as well. Similar fee to Max Kilman, but I would expect Todibo to be on a lot more money than Kilman is. Because essentially, we had to persuade him to join West Ham and give up waiting for his Champions League move to Juventus. He wanted to go to Juventus. We had to, well, practically Tim Steidten kidnapped him. But apart from that, we had to make it a move that he couldn't say no to. And that's financially, that's what you do. You chuck money at these players and they move. It's their job. They look after themselves. And we got Todibo in. So I'd imagine in terms of money, this is one of the most expensive signings we've ever done in terms of transfer fee, weekly wage, loan fee, etc., etc. It needs to work. This needs to work because Lopetegui really wanted Kilman, Steidten really wanted Todibo, and he went hell for leather to get him, and he did well to get him in. He was outstanding against Ipswich yesterday, and that's a good start. Now, I'm reviewing Todibo in one game because I thought he looked dodgy against Bournemouth, right? I'm not going to change my opinion. I'm going to say he's done well since he's been here. He wasn't. I thought he looked dodgy against Bournemouth. But yesterday, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. That was a man-of-the-match worthy performance. Now, there is context here. It was only Ipswich. However, I think when you're evaluating the game, team v team, you can say, right, West Ham, I don't think we got out of third gear yesterday. We didn't have to. Ipswich were that poor. But in regards to Todibo, what you can do is evaluate him one-on-one with Liam Delap. Now, Delap's one of the youngest starting strikers in the Premier League. But this is a guy with an abundance of talent and an abundance of potential. He's a good striker. He Just, if you go back a week ago, he put Diego Carlos on his arse at Portman Road and finished it really well. And a few days later, Diego Carlos was Boston Harry Kane at Villa Park in the Champions League. So that's the standard of centre-back. Delap has done well against... Go back to the start of the season, very first game of the season against Liverpool. Arne Slot had to substitute Quansah at half-time because Delap was absolutely bullying him. He is a top striker, there's no doubt about it. Todibo absolutely bossed him. Up until the moment Delap went off, he got nothing. Delap didn't get a sniff. In the first half, he was constantly sat on the ground looking at the referees saying, "Can you help me here?" And Anthony Taylor, quite rightly, was saying, "Get up, it's a physical battle. You're a physical striker, give it back." But he couldn't. Todibo had him. And I don't think Delap did much wrong, and I don't think Ipswich did much wrong in terms of their supply to Delap. There was a lot of balls down the line for Delap to run onto, and Delap was getting there first. He was getting the first touch. But Todibo was reading the play really well, he was reading Delap really well, using his strength, using his pace. And yes, it was only Ipswich. And I think that can be said for, like I said, the overall nature of the game. But in terms of that one-on-one defending, I don't think you can use that it was only Ipswich, because there was nothing wrong with the pass and there's nothing wrong with the striker. He wasn't up against a poor quality striker or anything yesterday. It was a good player, and Delap will still cause a lot of bother to more experienced and established centre-backs later on this season as we go on. You will watch Ipswich in a couple of weeks' time, in a month's time, 2 months' time, you'll see Delap have another man-match performance where physically he's battering the centre-back around. Didn't happen yesterday. Todibo had him in his back pocket, and I appreciate Delap scored. Now, I haven't seen the highlights back or anything like that, so in regards to his goal, Todibo was at fault. Apologies, but from what I seen yesterday, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to keep the reins on this one, because I remember getting excited about Neil Figueroa after a couple of games and calling him a Rolls Royce of a centre-back. So I'm not doing that with Todibo. Todibo had one excellent game. That is it. But I think there's pressure on him to succeed. Over the last couple of games, even coming into the Ipswich one, it was, I call it the cup final team. We always say that, the best 11, and people understandably will say, "Oh, it's not about the 11 anymore, it's a squad game," and that is correct. I agree with that. But let's call it cup final team. West Ham had a cup final tomorrow. What would the starting 11 be? Now, I think it would possibly be the 11 that played yesterday, and there's an argument that Alvarez would be instead of Rodriguez. Fulkrug maybe, and ideally, but we haven't seen enough of him. However, I think we know the defence. I think that's it. Areola, Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman, Emerson. I think that would be his defence. We're slowly starting to see that best 11 come together. I still don't think we've got it yet, because I think there's someone in the middle of the pitch who's still not performing. But there was a lot of pressure going into yesterday's game. And whilst I think Ipswich was poor, I'm delighted to have won yesterday, because I think it was tough for Lopetegui, and had we not won, I couldn't be arsed with this 2 weeks of the international break. But we've won. We go into it feeling positive, and it's funny because when international break comes round, you're either glad it's here or you're not. Forget how you feel about international breaks. I know a lot of people don't like them, but put that to one side. Just the break from West Ham. So either we're not doing too well, I think, "Oh, thank God, it's come at the right time. We need this. We need to get out of the Premier League for a couple of weeks." But actually, on the other side of it, it's like, damn, we've finally got a little bit of momentum. And I think that's the case with me with West Ham. It's like we could have done with playing Spurs next week off the back of that performance, because got the international break now, and it's not been good for us the last couple of weeks. And I feel like Antonio, there's quite a few players I feel like have warmed up a little bit over the last few games. I think Antonio's one of them. Excellent against Liverpool, okay at Brentford, excellent yesterday. International break comes around, and usually he's not great on his first game or two back after international breaks. That's a little bit of a concern. Obviously, Fulkrug got injured last time. And I'm just a bit frustrated that it's come round now. I want to go play Tottenham now. I'm feeling good. But listen, in regards to Ipswich, coming into the game, I thought it was a difficult fixture. I thought Ipswich were looking good, and they were. Just because we've made it look easy yesterday, and it was easy. I think McKenna got his tactics wrong against us, which was a surprise. I don't know why he changed the right-hand side of his team. I think that was a mistake, and we capitalised on that. But there's still no mugs. They still went 4 in a row, unbeaten / okay, they haven't won, but they went unbeaten. Drawn away to Brighton, at home to Aston Villa. These are good results from a newly promoted side. So it was a tricky enough fixture yesterday. We overcome it easily. I would say I'm relieved. I wasn't really. I think it's because we were in control. The first half was poor, I felt. I thought the quality of the first half was poor. We got a goal after a minute. They equalised, and I just felt like the next 20, 30 minutes or something was a bit of a drag. And then 5-10 minutes before the break, we started to crank it up a little bit. And I just think we won yesterday because we had better players. There was just a noticeable golf in ability. But this is what I was trying to say. Shabazz yesterday. It's got to be one, though. You can't be... We were playing a side that was in League One 2 years ago. 24 months ago, they were in League One. You can't just go from that into the Premier League and be a Premier League team just like that. Whereas we've been in Premier League a decade, spending a lot of money. This summer, over 100 million. Last summer, 100 million. A few summers ago into Pellegrini, nearly 200 million. We've spent a lot of money. So Ipswich have got a lot of catching up to do. If they can just stay in the Premier League for 3 seasons or something and start banking that money, they'll do okay. I still think they might stay up. Yesterday was never going to define West Ham's season. My pre-season prediction of 11th remains 11th. And hiding at home to Chelsea wasn't going to change that. Us giving Ipswich a hiding isn't going to change that. I think Ipswich might finish 17th or 16th. Them getting beat by us, that's not going to change how I feel. They need to pick up the wins against the likes of Leicester and Wolves and Brentford at home. Those kind of games is where they get their points. Away to West Ham is not going to determine their season. Home to Ipswich is not going to determine our season. When we play teams that are newly promoted at home, I expect to win, regardless of who they are. We have to. You've got to be winning those games. Good. We're on course. We're on course for a comfortable mid-table, possible European push. Games against Spurs. Those games could define our season. We get 3 points against Tottenham. Then you can maybe start getting a little bit excited. I think it's too early to do that just now. Just like I thought it was too early to panic. I still think it's too early to get excited. However, I think what you can do is just have a little bit of hope off the back of yesterday's game. Because when you win 4-1, regardless of who you play, there's got to be some positivity that comes off the back of it. I'm really pleased with what I've seen yesterday. I enjoyed it. I thought a lot of players had really good individual performances. But Ipswich were the right team on a day that we needed to win. But we got the job done. And that's the most important thing, I guess. So I'm feeling good this morning. Anyway, fan cam time. We've had 3 people send in fan cams. They'll be going up on this channel and the other channel today, tomorrow. If you want to send us your thoughts via video, please do. Email it to hammerschatpatron@gmail.com. I'll put a link in the description below for you to click on. It has all the details there and how you can get rewarded. We're going to give you stuff for sending us fan cams. So get involved. All you have to do is record it on your phone. I'm recording this on my phone. Just record it on your phone in landscape mode. Speak about anything you want to speak about. It could be Todibo, it could be Bowen, it could be Kudus, it could be Paqueta, it could be about the team overall, it could be about Lopetegui. Anything you want to talk about in regards to West Ham off the back of yesterday's win against Ipswich. Record it on a video, send it to us and get rewarded. Anyway, I'm off ski. I'm going to go, well, I've got some bits to do. Then we're going to go watch the football this afternoon. We've got Villa Man U and then I can't remember. I know Tottenham are playing today. Brighton. Is that the game? I don't know. There's another game on TV today. I've got 2 games to watch on TV today anyway. I forgot who the second one is. Anyway, regardless, I'm looking forward to it. Enjoying my football. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, come back. If you are kicking around, we'll be live for half an hour. See what you're all saying in regards to yesterday's game. And I look forward to catching up with you then.